Projections for the US midterm elections show Republicans are set to take the House of Representatives, while it's neck and neck in the race for the Senate. Pakistan calls for a climate change roadmap at Egypt's COP27 summit, while Colombia, Venezuela and Suriname back the protection of the Amazon rainforest.
President Zelensky has admitted the situation on the front line is difficult, as Russian attacks remain high.
Norway's Princess Martha will give up her royal duties to focus on her alternative medicine company with controversial TV guru fiancé.
Election officials from different precincts in Virginia bring mail-in ballots and USB sticks from voting machines as counting gets underway in the eastern state, and the first results start to roll in. 6 states are at the centre of the political drama. The 5 President Biden flipped in 2020: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, plus Nevada. Americans turned out in their droves for the midterm elections, which will decide who controls Congress for the rest of President Biden's presidency. The picture begins to emerge as news agencies start calling results in the East, with Republicans looking set to take control of the House of Representatives. But the battle for the Senate is on knife edge and may take days to become clear. Former President Donald Trump, who had campaigned for Republican candidates across the country, has turned the election into a poll of his popularity and a measure of his control of the party. He's expected to announce next week he will have a second run for the presidency in 2024. In the White House, President Biden phoned congratulations to Democrats who had projected wins, as he waits to see if a strong Republican resurgence proves to be the midterm story or not. Catastrophic floods in Pakistan affected 33 million people earlier this year. The Premier of Pakistan told delegates at COP27 it is time for a climate change roadmap towards critical policy resets, which he said are needed in a world that is burning up faster than the capacity for recovery.
All who have the power and financial muscle to change the course of history loud and clear. And that is what this conference is meant for. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now or never. For us, there is indeed no planet B.
World leaders now hand over the summit to the negotiators to try to put the calls and claims into practical policies. But at the same time, there are efforts to make sure pledges made beyond the confines of the summit amount to real action. So-called climate greenwashing has been condemned by the UN chief. It's a practice of some companies promising net zero emissions, but without evidence to back up their claims.
Some cynicism about whether these pledges are real, and the reality is there are some real challenges. So we're pretty clear on what you can't do. So if you cannot invest in new fossil fuel supplies. So if you say you're net zero, I'm a high ambition on climate, you can't be continuing to invest in new sources of fossil fuel supply, which is the problem. Two, you have to cover all your emissions.
Meanwhile, the presidents of Colombia, Venezuela and Suriname are backing a specific project, the protection of the Amazon rainforest. They've used the summit to call for a wide alliance to stop its deforestation.
President Zelensky has admitted the situation on the front line is difficult. Ukrainian forces say they are relentlessly battering Russian army positions in the Bakhmut region. In his nightly address, Zelensky said Russian troop activity remains high. The Ukrainian leader also claimed Russia is experiencing large-scale losses. Zelensky later vowed Ukraine would not give up a single centimeter of its land. The Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has reportedly inspected a command post of Russian troops undertaking what was described as combat tasks in Ukraine. He later awarded Russian servicemen with the Gold Star Medal and other state awards for courage and heroism. In Kherson city, Russian-stalled authorities say their so-called evacuation measures to relocate residents ahead of the anticipated Ukrainian offensive are now complete. But in the wider region of Kherson, Ukrainian police, investigators and explosive technicians are scouring the area for unexploded devices. They're also looking for signs of alleged war crimes.
On a sunny autumn day, Mykolaiv Zoo in South Ukraine feels so peaceful, as if the visitors could leave the war behind its gate. The exposition of the rocket debris that has fallen here earlier and the sounds of distant explosions bring us back to reality. We are not far from the southern front line of Russia's war against Ukraine. The zoo remains one of the very few places open today for education and leisure for the residents of Mykolaiv.
This is a wonderful place where you can get distracted from the war, relax, spend time with the child, entertain her, get her interested in things and teach her something. The kindergartens do not work now, so we are trying to keep learning as we can.
To keep animals healthy under these circumstances, this zoo, one of the oldest in Ukraine, has had to overcome many hardships. It had to find a new source of drinking water for animals, provide them with food and medication despite serious logistical problems, and ensure the safety of the employees and visitors.
We do not have fresh, drinkable water in the city. The salty water from the estuary runs in the tap. We bring fresh water here for the animals to drink. Such containers, and also bigger ones, stand in each department.
Its management says that today Mykolaiv Zoo exists exclusively thanks to the help of Ukrainian and foreign volunteers, the support of zoos from abroad, and donations. People from different parts of the world buy online tickets to the zoo to support it. In wartime, the zoological garden is open at weekends. All the visitors we talked to said it's important for them to support the animals and this place they hold dear. For many, it brings back happy memories, time with now grown-up children or a first date.
In our city, it is really like a historical landmark because the zoo is quite old. For us, it's very important that it continues to exist, to develop, that the plants, because it's also a botanical garden, and the animals all thrive, so that it would be like before and even better.
The zoo has also offered shelter to the pets that Ukrainians had to leave behind during evacuation. The most worrisome time for the zoo personnel is at night. That's when Mykolaiv is most often targeted by Russian rockets and drones.
Every day saying goodbye, we hope that the next day we are going indeed to see each other. That's our life today.
As it's constantly terrorized by Russian missiles, the zoo's team says it will do everything to keep the animals safe, but how tough will it be this time? Natalia Lyubchenkova from Mykolaiv, Ukraine, for Euronews.
Norway's Princess Martha is giving up her royal duties and privileges to focus on her alternative medicine business with fiancé Durek Verrett, but she'll keep her title. King Harald and Queen Sonja gave an interview on Tuesday about the announcement, saying the princess had performed her duties with warmth, care and deep commitment. The princess, whose younger brother supersedes her to the throne, announced the move on television.
After a period of many questions relating to me and my fiancé's role, I have decided that at the present time I will no longer carry out official duties for the royal household. I made this decision in consultation with my parents, the King and Queen, and the immediate family, in order to create peace around the royal house.
The princess's relationship with Verrett, a Hollywood spiritual guru, has caused a stir in Norway after the sixth-generation shaman suggested in his book Spirit Hacking that cancer was a choice. On his website, the controversial figure sells a medallion, which he calls a spirit optimizer, which he claims helped him overcome COVID-19. The buyer of a Powerball ticket in Southern California has won a record jackpot of just over €2 billion after more than 3 months without anyone hitting the top prize. The jackpot ticket was sold at Joe's Service Center in Altadena, northeast of Los Angeles. Its owner was also celebrating as he'll receive a maximum palpable bonus of $1 million.